Hi, Michael here, and in this video journal I'm going to be starting a new series of builds. This will be actually the fourth complete build series that I'm starting. And the intro to each one of my series of builds is different, so this is going to be a different intro, and you'll be able to tell which video series you're watching by the introduction to that video. I'm starting three different builds. One of them is curly koa, one of them is the amozique, which is a flamed amozique, and the other one is a figured mahogany. Now I've done some intros on this in video journal, I think 68, I mentioned it a little bit. So this first video journal I'm just going to kind of catch everything up of what I've done and where I'm going, and then we'll go on from there. So keep watching. Figured amozique. I don't know if you can really see that figure that's in there, but it's really nicely flamed. I have a koa. The koa is going to be one of the ones that gets that fingerboard. Then I do have a quilted mahogany, and then I have some spruce tops. I didn't video the joining of the plates of the builds that I'm working on now. So I'm just going to use some video footage from some past builds to show you the process. The same each time I do it, really. The first thing I want to do is determine the face or the grain pattern that I want on my tops. I'm using a piece of cedar right here rather than spruce for this top. And once I find the dimensions that I want, I'll go ahead and just trim it down on the bandsaw to get it to the proper width that it needs to be. After trimming it down on the bandsaw, I'll take it over and clean that joint up on the jointer, just to give it a little bit of a flatter, cleaner edge there. The next step is going to be to thickness sand the plates, backs and sides, down to the appropriate joining thickness. They're still kind of rough cut at this stage and way too thick to deal with. So I'll run them through my thickness sander with about 120 grit sandpaper on it till I get them down to about 4 millimeters, or where the faces are clean on both sides, so I can join them. I'll glue them up rather. Next I'll check the joint on my light box to make sure that I've got a nice tight joint before I glue it up. The light box lets me see if there's any areas that I need to fine tune a little bit. And the places where the light shows through indicates where I've got a high spot there in the middle. So I'll take it over to my shooting board, clamp it in place, make sure that the two plates are in line with each other, and just fine tune the joint and that sanding down the area that's a little bit proud. And it doesn't take much at this point because we're dealing with a very, very small amount of material that needs to be removed to get that joint correct. Back over to the light box, we'll fine tune it till no light shines through, indicating that I've got a nice glue ready joint. Once I've got that done, I'll set up my joining jig that I use to join my plates, and just stick them in there, gluing up the top plates. Process. I've got a piece of wax paper down the center to keep any glue dribble out of the way, and I'm putting in a little sheet of it's vinyl. It's very thin, maybe a millimeter or so thick. It just raises the two plates off of the jig so that the glue squeeze out doesn't pool up and get all over the bottom of the tops. Then it's just simply a matter of applying some glue and then positioning the plates on the clamping jig. And then I use a couple of different weights just to keep the plates from buckling up, because I'm going to put some tension on them by the little wedges that you see there on the left. And then I've got 2 aluminum U-channel that have some maple on them that I use to just tighten down right there at the center where those joints meet. And then let it dry. A little bit of glue squeeze out that you can see there on the top will be cleaned up when it gets leathery. And this is just a jig showing you how the jig works there. After a few hours of drying time, it's time to go ahead and remove that particular top. Once again, this is a cedar one. Then I can clean the glue squeeze out off the bottom side, and I'm ready to trim it down to its oversized shape on the bandsaw. All the plates have been joined and glued together. I've run them one more time through the thickness sander just to clean up that glue joint and get them a little bit closer to the final thickness. Then I'll go ahead and mark a outsized outline on them and trim them out to about a 1/2 inch oversized on the bandsaw. So here's 2 of the plates that I'll be using. This is the spruce top, and this is the Amazique. Next video journal, I'll start working on what I call the appointments, or the inlays designs that will go into the rosettes and to the back before I can actually start doing the actual building process of installing the braces and everything. So thanks for watching this new series of builds, and I hope you continue watching. And thank you all, everybody who's bought me a coffee, and I'll see you next time.